Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are watching this on Instagram, make sure you follow me. If you are watching this on YouTube, welcome back. So make sure you subscribe, and let's just get straight into this video. This video is for those out there who are looking to maybe start their own product or start their own business, or you just are curious into how I did it. But I just wanted to share with you guys, basically, I don't want to say it's easy, but anyone can do it. Basically, if I could do it, you could do it. Definitely, you can definitely do this. So the first step is obviously you want to design. So you want to come up with your idea. With me, how it happened, I'm just going to talk to you about my reversible satin pillowcase from Oso and how that happened. Basically, I noticed that my hair had a huge difference when I slept on satin pillowcases, but I found that they were pretty much hard to get a hold of, or they were very plain and they used to slide off my pillow a lot. So I thought, what about if we found a way to, I say we all the time, really it's just me, how about I find a way that the pillowcase can securely stay on your pillow so you don't slide off and all over the place, and just create something that can be my signature product. Something I always wanted to create, something of my own, and I do really recommend that everyone create some kind of product or business or just own something. For me, it was the satin pillowcase. So the idea pretty much just came to me, and then I thought I need to make it colourful and fun and vibrant. So I came up with the idea of the reversible function. So you have one colour on one side and one colour on the other side, and it stretches around your pillow. So I came up with that idea. The next thing is, how do we actually make it come to life? Because I don't sew, I don't know anyone immediately near to me, family or friends, that know how to sew or make anything. So that was kind of hard. What I basically did was I took 2 pieces of satin. I went to a fabric store, bought 2 pieces of satin fabric. I cut out how I wanted it to fit around, I used my own pillow. So I cut it out how it should fit around the pillow. It looked a mess, but this was the only way I could communicate it to anyone. So I cut it out and then I stapled it around. I wish, if I can find the picture, I will put it in here for you guys, but I actually stapled it around the pillow. Had the 2 different colours on each side, and then that was basically my sample / like prototype of the product. So whatever product you want to make, try and either draw it out. At first I drew it out as well, so draw it out, use like Photoshop or something to create like your design, or hire a designer, like a logo designer or graphic designer, to create it for you so that you can then show it to the next step. Well, actually, before you do all of this, I do want to say you want to research the market. I kind of skipped the boat on that one because I feel like I knew my market so well, because first of all, I am my target audience. Like, I am my perfect customer. So I pretty much know who I'm talking to because I'm talking to myself in a way. I was in the whole natural hair scene, I still am, but at the time I was just starting out as a blogger. I had quite a few connections with other bloggers, and I pretty much knew the whole journey, the natural hair journey, what we need, what we don't like, our fears, and that's the kind of things you need to find out. You need to search your market. You need to find competitors, see what other people in the space are selling, and try and make your product a bit different to theirs. I am not the one that would say just go and copy it if it's working. I like to be a bit more original, so that's why I put my spin on things and have like the stretchy and the reversible 2-side function. Next, you want to take it to someone who can actually make it for you. And in my case, it was kind of hard because who like just makes pillowcases? I found it so hard, guys. Like, I ended up researching people that do alterations to products, like to clothes. So people that would like make your clothes smaller. They couldn't do it because satin, guys, is a very hard fabric to, 1, get a hold of the right type, and 2, to actually work with. Not a lot of people can actually sew satin together, so that was another thing. But what I did was I looked on Gumtree and Google, mainly Gumtree, for local seamstresses in my area. So I basically typed in seamstress Southwest London, and a few came up quite near to me, so I messaged them, gave them a call, and just told them what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who can actually put this pillowcase together, satin, 2 pieces. I've got a prototype, I can come and bring it to you. So I met with a few of them in person, kind of like an interview. The woman that I did end up going with, we met in like a Costa in Wimbledon, and I just sat down and showed her it, and she was like, okay, she actually made satin dresses. So I kind of typed in seamstress that work with satin. So she made satin wedding dresses. So I thought if she can work with satin, she should be able to just put a pillowcase together. So I gave her the prototype. She went away for like a week or 2 weeks lead time, and then she had put together a sample. It wasn't exactly how I wanted it, so I had to tweak it, tell her what I wanted, what size, and then she did it again, and then I think maybe 3rd time lucky she got it right. After that, she came to me with a price. It was very expensive, but that's what you are to expect if you're going to use like an independent person and not like go to China or anything, which is something I couldn't do straight away because my product was different. If I just wanted to buy satin pillowcases, I could have just bought it in bulk from China, but mine was something unique. After a while, I was doing like order on demand, so I put out a picture of the pillowcase. I sent a few to like maybe like 2 bloggers, and then myself. I would just put it on my page as well. No one knew I was behind the brand, but I would post about it a few times here and there. And then I managed to sell some. So that was how it built up. I think I used to sell maybe like 1 or 2 a month at first, and then it got to a point where I was having to go back and forth to the seamstress and buy like 5 at a time, so like 5 a week. And then sometimes she would take a bit longer because she had all different clients, people asking for dresses, just all different types of things. So that got a bit difficult, and at the time I wasn't driving. I was not driving, guys, so I had to basically walk to the tram stop, get the tram, get the train, walk to her house, walk back. Long. Luckily, I wasn't working full time at the time. I think I was working part time at the time. Yeah, I was working night shifts at Tesco at the time while I was developing this business. And when I eventually worked full time, I got to the point where I was able to buy them in bulk a bit more. So anyway, we'll get to that. So she was making them 5 at a time, and it got to the point where sometimes she'd only have them ready at night time, and I'd have to ship them out the next day. So that means I would have to get an Uber to hers because I didn't want to travel late on the train, on foot, and yeah, all of that stuff. So I'm just going to show you guys the real and the struggle before you see my page and you see, wow, she's doing so well. Like, it did not happen overnight. There's been tears, there's been body aches, there's been a lot. The demand got a bit too much for her, and the price was getting too high for me. I was hardly making any profit. So I decided to research manufacturers that can make them in bulk. At first, I did go to China, had a nightmare. As I mentioned before, I am going to do a video with on China and that kind of situation there. So they did come, but the colour, the dye of the satin dyed everyone's pillows. Like, satin is, it can run, the colour, it can run, but whatever dye they used was dyeing everyone's pillowcases. So that was horrible. That was a horrible experience. I cried. I hate to see like bad reviews and people not liking something that you've put your hard work into, and it was out of my control because it was their issue. And a few weren't the right colours that I picked, so that's a whole other story. Again, this is going to show you guys like things are going to go wrong, but you need to continue and keep going. After a lot of advice from mentors, a lot of people kept telling me you need to stay within the UK for this product, like stay with the UK, find someone over here. So I did a lot of research on hair accessories and pillowcase and fabric manufacturers in the UK. And I managed to find one, but it was outside London. All the London ones are very highly priced, so I couldn't go to them. So I managed to find one that was like 2 hours away from London. And again, at the time I wasn't driving, so that meant train to Victoria and the National Express coach. So the first few visits, I just went up there again with my sample, showed them what I wanted. I wanted to speak to them in person. I could have sent it to them, but I wanted them to meet me. That's a really, really good tip. Go and meet the people that are going to be controlling your product. Like, they need to see you, feel you, and understand you, so that they can put a human behind the work that they're doing. So I did that, and luckily I still work with them to this day. Started off small and now they can make a lot for me at a time. Sometimes they get some things wrong, and there's always going to be trial and error. There's going to be a few within a batch that might have the threading sticking out, and you just have to keep telling them, no, I need to make sure that you guys check every single pillowcase thread. And this is all things you learn in the long run. So you have your design, you've done your market research, you found your manufacturers, and you've put in an order. I would also always say at first, try not to order more than 100 pieces. If you can, order 50 pieces. If no one buys them, you can just give them away to friends and family and see it as a loss. But there will always be a way for you to sell 50. Like, you can sell 50. I don't care. You will find a way to sell 50. Start with 50 pieces at a maximum. I managed to get, I think, 50 pieces at first, and then now I do like more than 100 at a time, just because it's more beneficial for me that way. Another thing you might want to think about is packaging. So I pretty much stuck to the very basic packaging for a lot of years, until recently I wanted to jazz up my brand and really become a brand. So now I have packaging that is customized. I have this belly band that goes across the pillowcases, and they come in this little mesh bag. Again, if you can afford to do this at first, by all means do it at first. But for me, I started off from the ground upwards, so I kind of bootstrapped myself, and now I can afford to do things like this. So this is my baby. This is the satin pillowcase. Comes like this when it comes from my manufacturer. So they ship it to me like this, and then I personally fold it and put the belly band on it and put it into the mesh bags to then send to you guys. You've got your product ready. Now it is time to market and to sell. Now, I don't come from a sales background. I mean, I've worked in retail as like a sales associate, like on the shop floor, but I don't have a background in sales. I have no one around me that has their own business growing up. I've got no entrepreneurs in my family. So this is all something that I had to learn from scratch. So marketing, I was good with social media just because I used it myself, and millennials pretty much know how to use Instagram and stuff. So I kind of knew that, but I just did so much research, guys. And still to this day, every day I'm watching YouTube videos on advice for marketing. I read books. I'll leave a link below to like the books that I recommend, but I've done podcast books. Every day I'm learning, because if you don't know, you need to know basically. That is pretty much in short how I created my own product and how you can do it too. If you have any further questions, please leave them down below. I will mention that Shopify is the one tool that really jump-started my business. I was using Squarespace to sell my products at first, and then when I switched to Shopify last year, my business has grown so much. I've got a link for Shopify down below and the DYMO printer. The Shopify gives you a free trial, so you can test out starting your new product on Shopify and see how it goes for you guys without having to pay monthly for the first, I think, 30 days. All the details are down below. But I just wish you all well, and if you do start a new product, if you do start a new business, leave it down below. I want to check them out, and I might shout them out in my next video. So thank you for watching, guys. I really hope this was helpful. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.